right, good morning and welcome to Trends in the Papers on Mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos. I trust we all had an amazing January. This is the first January that I think I've ever experienced in recent times. Today is the 31st of January 2024. So the year or the month of January has come to an, or is gradually coming to an end, because I know there are a lot of people out there who still have a lot to sort out before the end of the month. And also in the whole entire month of January has been quite a tedious one, especially for all of us as Nigerians, or collectively as Nigerians. There's just been a lot that, we have all had to endure. There's a lot that we have all had to go through. Just this morning I was reading through Fuad's status, and he was mentioning something about the Punch newspaper and the many very unfortunate news and conversations that we may or may not be having this morning on Trends in the Papers. Well, we can only pray for the nation, and we can also hope that our leaders will actually get towards making the right decision, for the collective security of our country. I mean, one would say that the number one responsibility of any government is to secure the lives and property of the people. But every day now, we seem to hear one kidnapping or the other, in the country. Aside from kidnapping, there's also the issue of, ethnic clashes and all of that. Then there's also insurgency. It's just a serious situation. People are, unaliving themselves, and just it's a serious situation that we hope that we will begin to see a decline in the days to come. Yes, my name is Omobola Sandra. This is Trends in the Papers. We'll be looking through the major trending stories on the front pages of our dailies. I won't be doing this alone. Fuad Saeed will be joining in via the phone line to give analysis to the stories that we're going to be treating this morning. We're live on Facebook and YouTube, so you can join the conversation on our live streaming platforms. Just drop a comment or two if there's anything you'd like to add in addendum to what we're going to be discussing this morning. But before we move on, we have our papers here with us: The Punch, The Guardian, and New Telegraph, in no particular order. And Fuad is with us. Good morning, Fuad. Can you hear me? Hello? Okay. Well, Fuad will be joining in any moment from now. All right, just stay with us. Just as I mentioned earlier on, we have our papers here with us, and I'll be starting with the Punch newspaper. Very unfortunate. I think for about a few days now, the major headline on the front page of the Punch is as regard the kidnapping epidemic that it seems to be taking over conversations across the nation at this time now. Fuad, are you with us? All right, not yet. Okay, so yes, the kidnapping epidemic, that's the major headline on the front page of the Punch newspaper. Well, that's the unfortunate scenario or unfortunate situation we found ourselves. Abductors demand 100 million naira for Ekiti school children and teachers. And we have riders here: police, NSCDC, Amotekun, OPC, hunters. I think we already have a background to this story. Kidnappers of 5 pupils of Apostle Faith Group of Schools in Mure, Ekiti, and 4 staff members have demanded 100 million naira ransom for the release of the 9 victims that were taken away on Monday. And the principal of the secondary section of the school, Boje Olanireti, confirmed the ransom demand. And it's very unfortunate that at this time now, the abduction epidemic has continued to defy the efforts of security agencies, as cases of kidnappings are being recorded in various parts of the country daily. Before, it used to be one particular section of the country, or one particular region rather, in the country, and it was probably a monthly or even a yearly thing. And now we are getting cases of cases daily. Just the other day, we're discussing as regards the 2 monarchs. On Monday, gunmen killed 2 Ekiti monarchs. Traditional rulers were returning from a function in Kogi State when their vehicles ran into the suspected kidnappers who were operating on the highway between Ipao and Okiako in the Ikole local government area of Ekiti State. So what we have now is, aside from these, there were 4 actually. One was able to escape the ambush, 2 were killed, 1 was taken away. So with this is a different case from the school children and the staff and the teachers that were also kidnapped, still in Ekiti State. So, and very unfortunate the fact that the school bus was conveying 25 pupils and then they were waylaid or ambushed by gunmen. And it's just really unfortunate what we have to discuss this morning now. Yes, there have been some, reactions and responses to this particular situation. Some people are saying, well, porous boundaries. I have here the I have here that this is not the first time kidnappers will be kidnapping in that particular area, as they're saying that that place is actually very porous. But in this kidnapping case, a former commissioner of police, that's the Elemure of Emure Ekiti, or by Emmanuel Adebayo, is working round the clock to ensure the release of the abductees. Porous borders, or intelligence gathering or whatnot, whatever it is, there's a serious problem. And how best should we tackle this at this time? I think we have Fuad with us now. Good morning.
How are you doing?
Oh, good morning. Apologies for the back and forth there. Yes, thank you. All right, so let's get on with it. I hope you can hear me clearly.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right. Okay, so let's just get into it. I just, this is about the 4th or 5th edition of the Punch newspaper, where the major headline is, looking at the fact that the abductors of the Ekiti children and the teachers that were, abducted on Monday are now demanding 100 million naira ransom. Yes, and also there's also this there's a collaborative effort now with the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, Amotekun, that's the Southwest Regional Security Outfit, Odua People's Congress, OPC, the vigilante group, and some hunters have come together to do some collaborative efforts, and they have now launched a manhunt for the kidnappers. Meanwhile, the police in Ekiti State have also said that they have arrested about 5 suspected kidnappers and all of that. But then, Fuad, the kidnapping situation is almost now on a daily basis. What exactly is the way out?
Well, Sandra, it's not a very good thing for me. I woke up very early this morning, and trying to aggregate the news, checking through the reports from our different dailies, I discovered that, look, I'll be on radio this morning talking about very unfortunate situations across the country. I think that the most terrible of them all is the, state of kidnapping in different parts of the country. And I think just about last week or 2 weeks ago, we were more on the kidnapping situation in Abuja, where, sisters were kidnapped, sisters and their mothers were kidnapped, the eldest ones killed, the real family, the Nadia family. Now we are in Ekiti, Sandra, saying almost the same thing. And the danger with the kidnapping situation, Sandra, is that it could all go wrong very, very quickly. We have school children now, innocent school children, primary school, secondary school children in this mess. That's why I'm not the happiest person this morning. I'm not even in the right frame of mind, really, but we just have to do the job. But I imagine that, look, what will be going on in the minds of pupils who have found themselves in this kind of situation, Sandra? So when you read the story, these are doctors from the school bus. They also shot at the school bus. They shot at the school bus, stopped the school bus, then brought out all the children, innocent children, and then pick the one they wanted to pick and release the others. I'm like, what would be going on in the mind of these very innocent children who are now caught in the web of misgovernance and lack of good thinking on the part of our leaders? And that's just the reality of Nigeria at this time. And I'm hoping that with all of these reports now, somebody somewhere will not sit down and begin to say that we are blowing the issue of insecurity in the country out of proportion.
That is properly.
You understand what I'm saying, Sandra?
Politically motivated. Yes, I do.
Or somebody will not say this is also about January. Because it's not close to me. He said, look, one of the traditional rulers that was killed is my own traditional ruler from my own town. And does it have to get to this level before we now begin to see serious action taken by government? Now we have the same thing. Oh, the police is running helter now. Oh, we have made arrests. The same rhetoric of, oh, we are going to go after them. Oh, the community is making frantic efforts to secure the release of this person. You know, we said it that these things were going to happen if we didn't do the right thing, if we didn't get on top of the situation. I would keep saying that, look, the security situation in the country cannot be handled with reactionary measures. So the punch newspaper consistently have been reporting the insecurity situation in the country. Same with the Guardian newspaper, the Vanguard newspaper, most major newspapers. I focus on the state of kidnapping and insecurity across the country. I can't blame them, Sandra. Because the primary job of any government is the security of life and property. And that's, in fact, the first thing you are saying of it. You look at the whole situation and ask yourself, is it a helpless situation? Are we completely helpless? Is it that we don't know what we're supposed to do? Are these criminals far ahead of the government and the security arrangements we have in the country? The sad part is that nowhere is safe now, and nobody is safe, Sandra. That's the sad part. Nowhere is safe, and nobody is safe. From the cause of insecurity that we're seeing. Yes, I'm with you.
All right, but if we're looking at this specific, situation now, people in Ekiti State have been saying that, especially this Emure Ekiti, yes, Emure local government, they've been saying that it's a border town. It shares borders with Ondo State, and the fact that there have been calls and appeals have been made that there should be checkpoints, police posts or army checkpoints or military checkpoints, at border towns, generally speaking. And then, as regards when we're having a conversation as regards what happened in Mangu in Plateau State, there was also the conversation as regards, large expanse of land that are, ungoverned.
Yeah.
Exactly. That there should be some sort of, posts, security posts or, checkpoints or whatnot. What do you think about, such calls?
You see, Sandra, whether we like it or not, we don't have enough security operatives to deal with these things. And that's what we're talking about. A complete reform or restructuring of the security arrangements we have in the country. We said in China, how many policemen do we have in the country? Let's even start with that. Everything is here around 400,000, less than 500,000, less than 500,000 personnel. And half of these personnel are already deployed to VIP to take care of themselves. And then the rest are also, locked down one or two things which are personal to them. The focus is not even really on security or life and property. So, look, I listened to the traditional of that committee, and he himself, I think he was a former police officer, when the children were kidnapped. And he said that, look, this is not the first time, they still have his own issues with kidnapping and all of that, again, coming all the way from Kogi and from part of the north central part of the country. And so what they are saying is that, look, they've always requested that, look, more security patrol checkpoints, because these areas are deserted. There's really no security presence in most of these communities. All talking about Amoteku, now talking about forest rangers and all of these kind of things. The UPC is talking tough now. But we kept talking about this, we kept saying it. Now the military was being grown out of proportion, it was propaganda. It is all propaganda now. Can this be seen as propaganda now? Because, again, I just hope that these innocent children will be rescued alive. I have hope and pray. And every other person would. Because, again, there are also reports in different parts of the country too. There are still a lot of abducted persons who are held in different, places of the country, ransoms being demanded, and all of those kind of things.
All right, Father, let's also look at. Okay, yes, I'm with you.
No, I'm just worried, really, because again, like I told you, I'm not the happiest person to do the job this morning. We just have to do what we need.
Exactly. That's just the unfortunate thing. We just have to do what we have to do, because we can't even begin to imagine the state of mind of the parents of those children, the condition the children would be. I mean, even the community, the entire community themselves. It's a bus. They were in a bus. There were about 25, of them in the bus, and they were going home after school hours, and then 5 of them were picked up, 4 staff members. Even the staff members, their family members, what would they be going through, at this time now, from just one community? But then let's also look at the invitation of the service chiefs by the Senate. Yes, let's also look at that. As it is now, the Senate have called for or invited the service chiefs as regards the worsening state of insecurity in the country. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajudeen Abbas, has advocated the adoption of new strategies to address the widespread insecurity ravaging the country. So, should we expect any not in the country? Are you aware?
I really don't want to talk about the NSA because I don't get worked up. I don't want to get into that kind of mood.
All right.
The NSA is everywhere and anywhere with the president. I'm surprised. It's not the ADC of the president.
Or chief of staff.
Or even the chief of staff doesn't be everywhere with you. I'm sorry, but let us not say the chief of staff, but not the NSA. The NSA wants to be everywhere and anywhere. He wants to be in the picture. Wow. These are the real issues he should be back home dealing with. We are even questioning the fact that, look, at this critical time, Sandra, at this critical time, the president has led the country to France, and the only thing the presidency can tell us is that it's on the private duty. At this critical time, the only thing that Nigerians, in the minds of the people in the presidency, should know about the travel of the president at this time to France is that he is on the private duty. At these critical times in the life of the country, where there is serious economic crisis, there is serious insecurity. And then what they do is to show us 1 or 2, 3 pictures at interval of the president with people that are meeting him. And then the NSA too is there in Paris. Then what? It's not like you don't understand what I'm saying.
I'm with you. That's why I asked you to chip that in.
I don't know whether it's in the papers, but I'm sure it's something we'll deal with. We'll deal with good policy.
Well, maybe as we go on, we'll check for it. Yes, carry on. Yeah,
it's a fantastic statement from Alhaji Atiku Abubakar yesterday. And then what he was saying was that, look, it is not at this time. Yes, look, Sandra, are you aware that the dollar now is 1,500?
Yes. That's what
not at this time, when we have serious economic crisis. Not at this time, when we have serious insecurity. And what he's saying is that, look, if the president finds the shoe too big for him to wear, he should just resign. If he cannot get the job done, he should allow somebody else take over who can do the job. And I can't fault Alhaji Atiku Abubakar statement. And then go and now see the response of the presidency.
Oh, I saw that. I saw that as well. All right, I saw that as well. There's just some things that you just can't let it get to you. If not, you just get even more upset with certain things. But Fuad, now as regards the invitation of the service chief, so
it's a cycle. It's a vicious cycle of the authorities are being summoned. Then they will get there. They will also say 1 or 2 things, talk about their challenges. Also, the authorities are summoned. Then they go coming again, and then they go back, and then something bad happens again. But it's not the way we continue to do it. Because again, if you don't be them coming to just explain what they have been doing, what are some of their challenges, why they are not doing their job well, and then maybe some senators will now give them some instructions. Because again, if you read the daily security briefing from the service chief, so there's something the Senate wants to hear from the service chief that the president is not in the law. He's not aware of. Because I'm sure that he gets a daily security briefing on the security daily basis, if not an hourly basis. And giving it on top of his job. So I'm saying that instead of us going through this route again, it's the normal road, the statements, the summons, can we just do the right thing? And that was why you see that we have been deliberate about looking for solutions. We talk about short-term and long-term solutions. In the minimum, like I said, I think on Monday, that look, I think community Nigeria have to wake up. Trust them. Traditional rulers, community leaders, youth organization, Amoteku, APC, anything at all. Everybody now has to stand up and find a way to defend their different communities.
Thank you for.
I think we are surrounded. I think we are surrounded, Father. By this
whether we're surrounded or not. But more details on pages 7 and 46 of the Punch newspaper as regards the abduction of the Ekiti children, the demand for 100 million naira for the children and the teachers, the reaction of the state governor, and the National Assembly's invite to the service chiefs. Now, still on the front page of the Punch newspaper, let's move on now. Just above the Punch masthead, 200,000 naira minimum wage no longer realistic, and that's on page 42, and that's coming from Labour. So yesterday the tripartite regards what he expects from the tripartite committee. I think there's also a timeline as regards when they're supposed to make things available. Now, we have here that the Nigerian Labour Congress has said that 200,000 naira minimum wage that they earlier proposed to the federal government was no longer realistic, considering while reacting to the inauguration of the minimum wage committee. So, Fuad, 200,000 naira minimum wage proposal. That we were having a conversation, and there was a unanimous agreement.
But I wanted to know whether they are saying they now need more. That's what it is not achievable, or in light of what is happening now, it can't be 200,000, maybe 300,000.
So what they are saying is that, and I'm quoting Tʀᴇɪᴅs now, he said, we are not going there with a fixed amount, but definitely not 200,000 naira. By the time we get there, we'll decide based on the socio-economic situation. That's what we are going to base our national minimum wage discussion and negotiation on. And if at the end of quote. And so I'm looking at it from the angle of, if they are saying that 200,000 naira minimum wage that they earlier proposed was no longer realistic, do you think they are going higher than 200,000?
And that's not answer. They have not said it. Okay. That's the issue. Where is it not realistic? Are you demanding lower or more? You understand what I'm saying? They've not said what they are issue. Again, I have my fears about Labour and their tactics and strategy in negotiating with this government. And I want you a question, Sandra. What should they do?
31st.
34th.
Yes.
The student loan is supposed to start when?
January 2024.
Okay. So we are still in January.
By God's grace. We still have about...
I'll ask you the same question on Friday.
About 8 hours or so. Anything can happen for what? I mean, your hope is not real. Your hope is not real.
But it can happen maybe before the close of business.
Yes. Yes.
Sandra, if the Labour, this current leadership of the Labour Congress, so to just be there, and then before you again, they are already losing the confidence of the people. I actually think it's unfortunate, because whether we like it or not, the organized labor is supposed to be at the bigger part of developing democracies and sustainable democracy in developing countries of the world. So and that's why some of us always think that, look, Sandra, Labour does not have a figure they are working with as far as minimum is concerned. And I'm worried. Yes, 200,000, but now they should have something they are going to the table to negotiate with. Whether it's 20,000, 100,000, or 150,000, with their figures and calculations already intact. But when they now go there now, they are saying, oh, it's not 20,000, it's not realistic. They don't know whether they want to demand for more or they want to drop their demand. And that they are going to be talking as to the current economic reality. I'm expecting that by now, Labour should be talking to Nigerians about their definite negotiating plan after this minimum wage conversation. But if they don't have all of those things yet until they get to the negotiation table, I wish them all the good luck.
Yeah. Well, let's see what exactly the 37-man wage committee would bring forth at the end of their deliberations. But the story is on page 4. CBN warns forex dealers. I'm interested in this warning. Let's just quickly run through
official market standard. Look at that.
Official market.
At the official, not even the parallel market.
No. Official. That's in quotes now. Is it? It's in quotes as well here. The Naira plunged further at the official window on Tuesday, closing at an all-time low, 1,482. And that is official window. That's not black market. That's it.
I mean, on February, if we're not going to eat 2,000 before the end of February, you know we are going.
And it's appalling for the way this thing is speeding up. I mean, as at January, we're still discussing 900, we're still discussing 800, 700.
1,900, yes. I remember the last year, the last year.
And here we are, just within a month.
The parallel market, trading at over 1,500.
What we have now
is
when
they say these things on the castle, they will not allow you to talk. You just want to attack the government, and they come up with all manner of excuses. No, the reality is that look, incompetent is incompetent, no matter how you try to paraphrase it. How do you explain this one now?
Well,
how do you explain this one now?
There's a lot of reactions to this particular one. I mean, and let's not forget that the CBN released a circular, to authorized dealers on financial market price transparency, warning them against engaging in sharp practices, saying that their attention was drawn to the practice of some dealers and their customers in reporting inaccurate or misleading information as regards transitions on the financial market. But then members of the organized private sector and some economics have expressed concern, saying that the fall of the local units at the NAFEX window would likely lead to business shutdowns, job losses, hikes in prices of commodities and services, and high inflation. As at now, our inflation is about 28.7%. And what's the assurance of food security? What's the assurance of the unemployment rates that we are already battling with? What's going to be the situation as regards out of school children, because parents may not be able to afford to pay school fees, and it's a spiral effect for it. And this is
I've been actually listening to a lot of economic experts. Some of them have also engaged them personally to really dig into this issue. Because again, I don't like to really continue to talk about the problem. We know what the problem is. We have a free fall, a complete free fall. We don't have a handle on this issue. And currently, all of the need that measures are still not to be working. They're also low compared to what we have to do when it comes to demand. We have a lot of debt obligations that are penalized that we need to pay. That's also huge burden on the forex of the country. Now, further, there are three issues, and I don't know really how the CBN under Mr. Yᴏɪᴜ intends to tackle this problem, because we are now looking at too much demand for dollars as against the supply we have. Again, I like the approach again of ensuring the CBN has take charge of process of sale of crude oil, so that there can be accountability and all of that. Again, let's see how that will help. I'm hoping that should at least create some form of liquidity and help in the short term. But further, there's also the problem of speculation. Because when we talk about demand for dollars in Nigeria at this level now comes in three forms. And the CBN has to decide how they want to tackle this new demand. The first one is the speculative demand. Those that are waiting to mop up, you understand what I'm saying? Mop up everything that comes up. Because again, we are not after everything and anything. We get to the official window, there's nothing to get. But you get to the parallel market, it's available. So it's speculators who, and that's the warning they are giving. I think it's not about warning, it's about fixing the problem and ensuring that.
Hello, Fuad. Oh no. All right. Well, I can't hear you. Just if you can hear me. You have to take. Hello, Fuad. You have to take that again. I lost you for a bit.
Yes. What I'm saying is that I talk about the speculative demand.
Yes.
Which the speculators who are taking advantage, of the margin between the official window and parallel market to make a lot of money.
Yes.
And so they go around mopping up whatever is available. But that is not also as problematic as the corruption demand for dollars in the country, billions of naira, because you think they keep the money in naira. They are telling you they keep the money in naira. So then I don't even go around mopping up whatever we have in terms of our foreign.
All right,
They don't keep it in naira.
let's also quickly look at what the president of the LCCI, that's Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, is saying, Gibbs, and the fact that as long as we don't export, dollars will be scarce, and anything scarce, the price will go up, and saying we should not just sit down and blame the CBN and the government, that, you know, we should all, as Nigerians, as far as the foreign currency is concerned, our problem is with us, Nigerians. And so,
we should blame her. So I should say,
for not producing anything locally or for not exporting, yes.
So I should be the one to blame myself now. Nigerians should blame themselves, not the government, for not being able to export anything, for not producing anything.
Yes.
And so when I decide to raise money, whether through loan, personal savings, or whatever, goods around, I should still blame myself that the country is not producing anything. If the LCCI wants to talk, you should talk and say what you want to say straight. You know that sometimes people want to be politically correct. The reality is that if we are able to really run the economy, drive it as a producing economy, we continue to have this problem of liquidity when it comes to forex earnings. We agree. But again, in the short term, I just think that we can leverage on, at least to have some form of balance and stability, while we build on long-term solutions of getting our economy back to speculation. And especially when it comes to the forex market. How does the CBN also ensure that look, whatever thing that comes in is not knocked off completely from our system? While our foreign government officials are their cronies. That's why I'm talking about corruption demand for dollars. Because again, the genuine demand for dollars is not as problematic because people because we are always importing. We are always everybody looking for dollars because the genuine demand for dollars is not as problematic as the speculating demand and the corruption demand for dollars in this country. And that's one thing the CBN has to fix. And this is the short term.
Thank you very much, Fuad. 17 minutes gone past 8. You are listening to Trends in the Papers on Mainland 98.3 FM. We're live on Facebook. Thank you to Shonaike Yusuf Finiki. We see your message on Facebook. All right, let's carry on now. We're moving to the Guardian newspaper. We're just through with the Punch. That story as regards official market, Naira plunging in official market, is on page 29 of the Punch. Sanctions, hardship, ground communities. As we have now, residents have turned to smuggling for survival. Bandits halt farming as price of food soar. Traditional rulers bemoan extortion by security agents. It's a serious problem that we hear, which is Niger, Burkina Faso and Mali from ECOWAS. So now, about 6 months after the imposition of economic sanctions on Niger Republic, life in border Koto, Zamfara, Jigawa, Yobe and Borno have shown partly deserted border communities. Smugglers, bandits have taken over, and it's a serious economic hardship of survival for the surviving residents that are still there. Since then, we have the fact that business, commercial activities between Nigeria and Niger have, although yes, have shared cultural affinities, but have been halted. There have been tales of war, especially coming from citizens that are residing in these border towns. Okay, and a visit to the border communities, what we have has revealed that farming and trading activities have been halted because the fear become jobless with an increased number of street beggars. So, Fuad, residents have turned to smuggling for survival. Bandits have halted farming. Traditional rulers are, complaining of extortion by security agents. It's a serious situation for people staying in the border communities.
When the coup in Niger happened, Sandra, I remember that traditional rulers and leaders in the north,
they went.
Had also cautioned the president to be careful in his decision with Niger, especially the blockade, the sanctions, the closing of the borders, and all of that. I remember very well that a lot of the leaders in the north, and some of them even have to visit the Tğᴇ, to tell the president to be a bit careful, because again, in trying to solve a problem, he may be creating a bigger problem. And if you look at that report now, I think they are now even created a bigger state with Niger. We are looking at insecurity, because again, what they are saying is that all the border towns have been abandoned. And the security operatives you have put there would also make a lot of money for themselves. I think in all this idea, we have closed our borders, we are shutting the borders, and we are only giving these border security operatives opportunities to enrich serious insecurity challenge. Because again, if territories have been abandoned because there are no economic rights, there's nothing to do. People are going to take over those communities and most likely to be criminal elements to insecurity. Food insecurity too, food shortage is coming. Because a lot of these countries are not even from the north, they are from Niger. I've seen other people say, look, there are a lot of farming going on in parts of Niger, and there are some products that are coming all the way from Niger. Apart from the issue of economic rights, so we are looking at security, we are looking at food shortage, and like I think it was Malan Sarao that said it. Whether we like it or not, the security of Nigeria as a nation, because of the relevance of the day to us in terms of, because whether you like it or not, we have very serious porous borders. So don't imagine criminals come somewhere in Niger are trying to attack the country. The Nigerian authorities will just be looking at us. The party wasn't even exchanging any information with us because it will resolve. Before it spirals into bigger problems that will now be extremely difficult for us to solve. It's important that the president has to rethink his strategy, especially on Niger. I'm not particular about Niger. Yes, Mali, Burkina Faso, all of these other countries under military junta. But I think he needs to quickly look at what he needs to do about this problem of Niger and the problem it's going to give to the country.
Thank you very much, Fuad. Well, the story is on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. It's a serious struggle, especially for the communities in Kebbi, Sokoto, Katsina, Jigawa, Yobe, and Borno states. All of these states are sharing, a border with Niger. Very, very unfortunate situation there.
Well, our sanctions now found that the sanctions have not removed the military guys. Have they been removed? They are still there. Even President Bazoum is still under arrest.
It has removed them from ECOWAS.
It has removed what?
It has removed them from ECOWAS. If it hasn't removed them from office.
From power. They say they're leaving ECOWAS. I think they've officially written.
They've formally written, yes. They've
formally written to say they are leaving ECOWAS.
They are now a collection of Sahel countries, association of
but ECOWAS is saying that they are supposed to give.
Ranks 145 on Graft Index, scores 25 out of 100 points. And just very quickly, because there seems to be some sort of celebration trees, on the 2023 Corruption Perception Index, and the Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center and Transparency International made the disclosure yesterday, and it said that sources explained that CPI sources its data from 8 global, and they have decried what they are called electoral and judicial corruption, adding that despite amendment, there's been some elections fell short of expectations of Nigeria. There's just a lot to take away from this particular report, but I don't know why people are happy about this. They say we moved up from.
They are happy about what? They are 140 something in one.
In one it.
Let's just move on, please.
The story is on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. Moving on, we also have here tuition fees hike imminent as private on page 9 of the Guardian newspaper. So very quickly, what we have is that private schools in the FCT have expressed fear that the high cost of security or of securing their facilities from marauding kidnappers may lead to an increase in school fees. There we have what? Cost of security equipment, powering them overnight, and also the harsh economic reality of the country at this time now. Schools will be looking at some.
I'm sure especially for those schools in the border towns, border towns of Abuja with Nasarawa, Niger, and other states would have serious security concerns. Because again, look at what has happened in the city. I'm sure in their minds they also want to ensure that they are able to secure their own people. I don't know how well they are going to be able to do that. Are they going to be working with the police? I'm sure they're going to be doing a lot with maybe their fencing, maybe the kind of thing. I don't know. They really have to maybe deploy some more technology to and all of these kind of things.
Yeah, from what we have here, it says here that it will cost about 5 million naira to pay the salaries of security personnel who will be on guard environment. There's also purchase of tools for the security operatives. All right, and there's also the cost of minimal because they're also going to be using local vigilante. All right, and yeah, so because they said that
again, they have to do something. So they can only do the best they can do, but it's going to be a lot of cost incurred. Some of these things probably have to get more men, to guard their schools, whatever their schools.
Because there's something I really wanted to read out.
Yes.
What I have here is that they said to apply for special security for school. That's what it's going to cost them. That if they want to engage the police, and that's why they are going with vigilantes.
They want to engage the police. They will have to pay, right?
They will have to get an application form. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay,
That's an application form.
Yes, application alone is 1 million naira.
Because we didn't have enough police to even all the schools that want to apply to get police protection.
To deploy them to schools.
Yeah, so the application form to get the police deployment is 1 million naira. So that's what our VIPs have been paying the police to get all these policemen in the first year.
Yeah.
You can see that it's the rich people that are able to now get the adequate security. Because if you are a school owner, where will you start it? Just application, no? And I'm sure if you get police deployment, you have to pay. This idea of having policemen deployed to VIPs and all of that, they will stop. People can have some form of private security arrangement, to take care of things like this. But again, it's all, I don't know, let's not always talk about commitment to solving problems rather than just mere rhetoric.
All right, well, that's all we can take for this morning. Unfortunately, the Speaker of the House of Reps, insecurity threatening Nigeria's peace and stability, and reps to convene National Security Summit. Act fast. Nigeria experiencing catastrophic security epidemic. CSO tells federal government. The story is on pages 2, 3, and 5 of New Telegraph. Yes.
So that Nigeria Security Summit now, I hope it's not another jamboree. Security experts deliberate on what to do. If they don't know what to do now, I'm surprised. But if it requires summit to get Nigerians secured, so let's see what the summit will do. I think it's not just about summit. I think they actually know what to do. We are not just committed to doing. That's just it.
All right. Well, that's all we can take for this morning on Trends in the Papers. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere. We'll take a short break. We'll be back by 8:40 for Mainland Focus, where you are Facebook. Jᴏɪᴜ Samuel also joined us on Facebook and dropped comments as well. We appreciate. We'll be back for Mainland Focus by 8:40. Stay with us.